Hi everyone, welcome to the Digital Freelancers Blueprint Masterclass. It's a today virtual lecture for aspiring freelancers. I'm so grateful for you to be here with me. So thank you for taking action, initial step into your freelancing journey. So just a quick overview why I decided to conduct this masterclass because way back 2020 when I started out freelancing and I left my 8 to 5 job, there are lots of people whom I know that wanted to learn also how to freelance. But since I'm still new also with the freelancing world, so I'm hesitant and my knowledge is very limited for them to teach or yung information na binibigay ko sa kanila is very limited lang because yun lang yung alam ko pa for that. So, and after 3 years, and then, yeah, gusto ko na siyang i-pursue because I have some knowledge to share with the freelancers, how they will get started and how they will be successful in freelancing. And I want to share my step-by-step process and on how I get out with the 8 to 5 job and kung paano mag-start as a freelancer para hindi magkamala yung of course, yung kung kayo gusto niyo maging freelancer, kung hindi kayo talaga alam kung paano magsimula. So, ito yung step-by-step process on how to get in with the freelancing world. So, let's get started. So, for other people that don't know me yet, kasi yung iba dito, kilala na ako. But for some na hindi pa ako kilala, so I'm Connie and I'm a former marketing employee for 11 years. I have worked with different companies for private. I've been with LCC Malls as a events coordinator, for Dunkin' Donuts head office as a marketing assistant, and for Estilo Salon, I've been a senior marketing and business development officer. So I work with Shain in Vina Morales for Estilo Salon. And then after I work with the BCS government agency that I know. So it's the SWD. So I worked with 8 years also as an information officer. So it's also marketing with the uh, government side lang. So it's all about marketing that I'm working since I started my career for corporate to government and for digital marketing. And I'm also a small business owner. I have a Ken's Grill, which I started with my husband last 2016. Buhay pa yung business namin for 2016, 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23. So, 7 years na din siya. So, okay naman. So, dagdag na income stream for us. And also, I'm an event organizer. So, I love doing events, all of the stuff with marketing since I've started working as a marketing person. So events, andun talaga siya. So yeah, so I really love doing events. Okay, so also I want to know who's here. Um, I want to know kung sino kayo dito, which one are you? Para at least alam ko kung sino-sino yung mga nandito. No audience, okay? First is letter A, ikaw ba to? I have a full-time work and exploring freelancing as a side hustle. B, I'm a stay-at-home parent who want to have an income. Or C, looking to make a career change. Sige, tingnan natin kung sino yung A, B, or C. You can chat it on the chat box kung ano kayo dito or kung sino kayo dito sa pagpipilian. Okay? Mm-hmm. So I can see mostly letter A. So mostly letter A kayo, okay. So parang na-impluwensyahan ko kayo, no? Parang from 8 to 5 work and then nag-freelance as a side hustle. So okay. Okay, good. So let's get started with our discussion. So first is what is freelancing? So paano natin siya i-define na freelancing? So as defined, freelancing is doing contracted work for multiple clients and companies. So working in a short term with multiple clients and companies. So this is not a traditional 8 to 5 job. So wala siyang contract na kagaya ng may 1-year contract or 5-year contract. So it's a short-term contract within specific client or company, or it's a specific kind of work. So this is an exchange of service, an exchange of money. For example, yung freelance writer, photographer, event planner, graphic designer. So that's a sample of freelancing. And of course, yung nagpo-pursue ng freelancing as a career. So it's a freelancer yung tawag. Now, I wanna share with you the Philippine gig economy and the landscape. So yung gig economy is a job market where independent contractors and freelancers fill most of the temporary and part-time jobs instead of full-time job employees. So ito yung mga taong mga short-term, yung trabaho, part-time. So yung tinatawag ng gig economy. So kasama yung freelancers doon sa gig economy, kasama din doon yung mga e-commerce deliveries like Lalamove, Lazada, Shopee, GrabCar. So they are part of the gig economy, and also the Filipino freelancers. So right now, as per data of the DICT, we have 1.5 to 2 million Filipino freelancers. So mas tumaas siya nung nagka-pandemic. So the people or the Filipinos are taking into freelancing because of the pandemic. And nung nagustuhan nila yung freelancing, so hindi na sila bumalik sa kanilang mga work. And then also, the Philippines is the 6th fastest growing gig economy in the market. So pang-6 siya all over the world. So first, nangunahan dyan yung US, sunod yung UK, Brazil, Pakistan, and then the Philippines. So kalain mo yon yung mga booming or mga malaking countries, na mga well-known countries, andun sila sa mga madami pang mga freelancers. Maganda yung economy ng US pero mostly they are freelancers. So yun. So they are 78% chunk of the gig economy ng overall. So yeah. So Philippines is 35%. So I wanna share with you the difference about digital freelancing versus home-based jobs and remote work. Kasi marami tayong nakikita na home-based jobs and remote work. So it's different with freelancing. Though freelancing naman is home-based job, pagkakaiba nila is yung flexibility sa work. Yung remote work or home-based job, it's more on traditional employment din na 8 to 5. So parang ano lang siya, parang pareho lang siya ng 8 to 5 mong work, though remote work lang or virtual lang siya. You're working for them, so it's a job. But if you're working with the client, so it's freelancing. Ano pagkakaiba nun? For them and with them. So for them is employer yung employee-employee relationship. Yung with them naman is you're growing with them. Yung business nila, business mo din. So ganun siya yung nangyayari sa freelancing versus home-based job. So with this setup for remote work, you are working for a company or client, while freelancing is you're working with a client with the same goal. So nasabi ko kanina. So ang freelancing is a business. Sabi nga kanina is self-employed individual yung freelancer. Kaya ika ay business. Ang pagiging freelancer po ay business. At ang remote work ay trabaho because you're working with the employee or the client with a specific time, working for them with a specific task na binibigay sa inyo. So you're working for them. So yung freelancing, yung sinasabi ng iba, pag sinabi nilang nasa bahay or working from home, yes, working from home, but they are not freelancers, sinasabi ko kanina. Kasi nga, meron silang shift. For example, may graveyard shift sila, and though nasa bahay sila nag-work, pero yung trabaho nila is 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. or 7 a.m. So, yun yung remote work. Kasi may specific time sila na tinatrabaho at a specific given time. So, parang yung iba may mga timer pa silang ginagamit para mag-work, na para mag in and out. So that's remote work or home-based jobs. So yung digital freelancing, you work on your own time and schedule. So yun yung pagkakaiba nila. So more on flexibility. Next is freelancing. You can set your own price rates. So kung ano yung price mo, pwede ka maglagay na kung ano yung per hour rates mo, per project based. Ikaw yung magbibigay sa client mo kung magkano yung presyo mo. Kasi parang ikaw yung business ka, magkano yung presyo nung gagawin mo. Ikaw yung magpapresyo. Unlike doon sa remote work, yung client, your employer has a fixed rate to pay you. Parang I hired you, you work for this for a specific per hour or per month rate, and then we work for these hours or for these days. So yun po yung remote work. So ito yung mga pros and cons of freelancing. So I want to give it to you para at least alam nyo ko yung mga ano yung pros. Hindi lang pros, syempre yung cons din. So one of the most significant benefits of freelancing is it offers flexibility. So you can set your own schedules, work anywhere or anywhere you choose, allowing to have a better work-life balance. So ito yung hindi natin nakukuha in our traditional job na 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. Yung kung ayaw mo magtrabaho ngayon, o matutulog ka muna, tapos mamaya ka naman magtrabaho. So yun yung ginagawa. Yun yung usually ginagawa ko pag ayaw ko pa magtrabaho, mamaya na ginagawa ko muna yung trabaho sa bahay, and then mamaya na mag-work. So at least nagiging flexible yung buhay. And then napakalaking bagay siya for a mother like me, because I have a time to take care of my kids while working. So parang in the morning, inaasikaso ko muna yung mga anak, and then in the afternoon, I go to work. So yun yung usual na nangyayari sa akin for the day. Next is independence. So freelancers are their own boss. So ikaw yung boss. Dahil ikaw yung business, ikaw yung boss. Ikaw din yung lahat gagawa. And have a control over the work or career path na tatahakin mo. So yun yung maganda doon. Flexibility, independence, and then variety. Ano ibig sabihin ng variety? So freelancers have the opportunity to work on a variety of projects. So pwede ka magtrabaho ng iba't iba kung ano yung gusto mong gawin. Like for example, you wanna try other job. Halimbawa, gusto mo maging graphic designer, gusto mo maging content writer, gusto mo itry yung ibang mga skills na wala ka pa, and then you can try all of it. So kaya siya nakaka-excite kasi hindi ka ma-stuck on a certain work that you're doing. Like for example, you're doing office works, clerical. So in freelancing, you can explore other things to do. Kung gusto mo siyang explore, you just need to learn para matutunan yon. Pero meron kang independence kasi to learn a lot of things and then you can apply it to your work. So yun yung kagandahan doon. So napakadaming challenges in terms of freelancing, pero marami kang matututunan kasi along the way, you'll be gaining a lot of experiences and knowledge. And sa'yo din naman yun, and your personal growth, yung advantage nun. Next is, siguro ito yung hina-highlight ng iba sa potentially higher earnings than the traditional jobs. Actually, oo. Pero hindi ko to hina-highlight in my marketing kasi kung ito yung highlight ko sa marketing, parang hindi naman siya talaga ganun kadali makuha. Siyempre mag-work hard ka din para ma-achieve yun. Pero kung magiging seryoso ka talaga on freelancing, you can actually 5 times your salary on, for example, 20K. Galing ako sa 20K on my government job. Actually, 18K may base pay way back 2020 onwards. Onwards ba? Hindi. Yung 2012, so 8 years, 2012 to 2020. So yung pinaka-last salary ko is 18K. Ito na yung pinaka-maximum. Maximum, hindi naman maximum, pero yun yung pinaka-mataas ko ng sahod noon in the SWD. So 18K plus 2,000 na pera or yung tawag doon, yung allowance. So that's a total of 20K. And then when it comes to freelancing, nakita ko siya na mas maganda yung income in freelancing because I can double, triple, four times, 5 times my salary. Actually, yes, as much as 6 figures a month. So makukuha mo siya kung pagtatrabahuhan mo talaga siya. So you can have multiple clients working at the same time, and then you can have that income. Actually, madami mga freelancers talaga yung ang lalaki ng sahod ng iba. Meron siyang mga 300K per month, 100K per month, 200K. So, kaya mo siyang ganun makuha. Pero syempre, magtatrabaho ka din talaga. So, syempre, isa ka lang naman. So, we have 24 hours in a day and yung kaya mo lang trabahuin. So, syempre, hindi naman tayo magpapakapamatay para lang sa pera. Of course, we work para sa freelancing also to have a work-life balance. So, kaya yun. So, pero kung seryoso talaga siya, seryosohin yung freelancing, marami siyang potential into higher earnings. So I started $4 per hour for my one client. And then yung pinakauna ko talaga is yung 2019. Actually, hindi ako nag-apply to any client. I just made a profile on a freelancing site because I saw an ad on Facebook about freelancing. So parang na-curious ako about freelancing, and then I decided to make a profile on an online job freelancing site. And then after I think 2 months, meron sa akin tumawag for na client for a work. So hindi ko siya inaasahan actually. And then yes, wala siyang actually sa freelancing wala siyang interview na gaya ng ginagawa sa traditional natin na may panel interview, may first interview, may second interview, may third interview para lang makapasok ka. So very very casual lang yung pinag-uusapan into freelancing pagdating dito sa hiring or pagkuha sa'yo ng isang client. So tumawag lang siya sa akin and then sabi niya, I want to work with you. Can you do this job? And then sabi ko, okay, yes, I can try. So I started working as a graphic designer for a baby clothing company in the US. So gustong-gusto ko siya kasi mga babies. Mga babies yung ginagawa ko. So alam niyo ba yung parang siyang ibon, Avon products or yung Natasha, mga ganun. So ginagawa ko siyang brochure or catalog for a month, and then she pays me $100 for one catalog. So back in the day, syempre ang laki na sa akin nun kasi when I was working in the government, malaking tulong na yung meron ng sideline na parang $100 per month. It's 5,000. 5,000 a month pa din siya in the Philippines. So I'm making a lot of graphic design in the SWD or in the government work. And then syempre hindi siya ganun kung i-compare mo siya sa ginagawa ko. So pare kong ay malaki siya. So magandang sabi ko potential ito yung freelancing na work na to. So yan. So siya yung pros for all, syempre gusto natin ng money ng freelancing. Next is yung next pros of or advantage ng freelancing is personal growth. So freelancers are responsible for all aspect of their work kasi tayo nga ay business. Hindi lang tayo employee ng ating business, tayo ang business. So lahat ng ginagawa natin for our business, tayo yung gagawa. Kaya alam natin yung mga pasikot-sikot ng business natin. So before tayo mag-hire ng iba, alam natin yung mga gagawin. So including marketing, finances, client hunting. So tayo yung gumagawa nun. Kasi usually ang ginagawa ng mga freelancers, pag marami na silang clients, ang ginagawa nila is nag-subcontract sila to other freelancer to do their work. Kasi hindi nila din kaya. Syempre madami sa kanilang kumukuhang clients, and then mag-isa lang sila. And then parang agency na ginagawa nila, and then they outsource. Pero as a beginner, napakalaking potential yung sa personal growth mo, yung matutunan lahat ng mga paisa-isa yung pagiging freelancer sa lahat ng aspects. So ikaw yung magre-research kung paano mo siya i-market, yung sarili mo, ano yung gagawin mo para makakuha ng client. So yung up to managing ng finances mo, ikaw rin yung gagawa. So yun yung 5. So yun yung 5 pros or advantages ng freelancing na nakalap ko and also for my experiences. Ito naman yung mga cons or disadvantages ng freelancing. So inconsistent income. Yeah, kanina na sabi ko is high potential income. But this one, yung disadvantage is inconsistent. Bakit inconsistent? Kasi hindi mo alam dahil nga wala tayong contract or wala tayong bound na ginawa sa employee-employer relationship. Syempre yung mga business gano'n naman talaga, wala naman silang contract. Pwede tayong mawala ng client anytime pag halimbawa hindi na okay yung business or hindi maganda yung relationship niya with the client. So mabilis lang siya mawala yung client. So yun yung disadvantage din ng freelancing. So inconsistent siya. Minsan marami yung for this month marami yung income mo, next month konti. So depende din yung kasi $10 syempre nagpa-fluctuate. So inconsistent siya. So minsan 'di ba 55 na ba ngayon yung dollars or 50. So syempre pag mababa yung palitan ng dollars, pababa din yung sahod or yung take home pay. And then depende din sa tinatrabaho mo. For example, you're not feeling well for this month, so nagpahinga ka muna for your client. So yun yung mga samples of inconsistent income. Pero kung meron ka naman talagang kung meron ka ng consistent na income, maganda siya. Kung meron ka ng retainer or monthly retainer income, so napakaganda na siya. Kung stable na yung income. Next is lack of benefits. Unlike sa traditional job, meron tayong syempre PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, SSS, health insurance, retirement plans, and paid off leaves. Pero in freelancing, just like any other business, of course, you will be responsible of paying all of those benefits. So for me, I'm paying my PhilHealth, I'm paying my SSS for my retirement, of course. Pag-ibig, so meron akong Pag-ibig 1, meron akong Pag-ibig 2. So maganda mag-MP2 for Pag-ibig kasi malaki ang dividends. So wala naman akong affiliate sa Pag-ibig, pero yun, maganda siya kasi mutual funds yung Pag-ibig. And then so life plan, so meron din ang life plan St. Peter, wala si Rochelle pa, hindi pa nag. So yun yung yun yung mga lack of benefits na wala. Pero kung kaya mo naman siyang makukuha sa freelancing, why not? You can pay naman. Okay lang naman yung kasi meron ka naman retirement. And then you can save much for your retirement also. Unlike kung mag-aantay ka ng 60 years old on your traditional job and you're getting 20K per month or 30K per month, syempre, konting-konti lang siya. Pagdating ng 60 years old, mag-aantay ka pa. So, medyo matanda na. So, yun din yung yun din yung maganda kung makakaipon ka habang working ka as freelancer. So, yun. Next is self-employment taxes. So, freelancers are responsible for paying own taxes. Yung mga taga-BIR dyan. Wala pa si sister-in-law kong BIR. So, yun yung mahirap siya kasi time-consuming yung, syempre, yung paying of taxes. Pero you can get naman help with accountants or bookkeepers. So, madali lang naman siya. So, actually, if you'll be starting as a freelancer, para ka na ring nag-start ng business mo talaga. Kasi lahat from the start, yung ginagawa sa pag-build ng business, matututunan mo siya into freelancing. Kasi you're the business of your business. So lahat siya from all of the aspects of the business. Magkukuha ka din ng mga permits, yung BIR, so yung ganon-ganon. So next disadvantage of freelancing is yung wala kang social interaction or support from traditional workplace. Ito siguro yung bet siguro to ng ng mga introvert, syempre. I'm not an introvert pero masaya ako na mag-isa lang din kasi andito lang din ako sa bahay, syempre. Mas okay sa akin kasama ko yung mga anak ko and my family. Pero ito yung isang disadvantage din ng freelancing kasi you're working on your own and mag-isa ka lang sa bahay, so sa office mo. So sometimes kung ikaw ay extrovert na gusto mo laging lumabas or gusto mo laging may kasama, so yun yung medyo hindi sa'yo okay kung hindi ka okay sa freelancing. Pero yun, siya isang disadvantage for isolation kasi you're working on your own. Meron naman na mga team, meron naman if ever makakakuha ka ng mga clients na with a team. So meron kang mga virtual teammates if ever. Pero lahat lang siya virtual kasi lahat siya remote. Next is disadvantage of freelancing, you have the responsibility of all aspects of your business. So yun nasabi ko kanina, you are the business. So you overall, ikaw yung responsible for all of your freelancing business. So from marketing, from billing, from other admin tasks. So yun yung mga kailangang gagawin. So lahat siya. Overall, ikaw lang mag-isa. Next is so yun yung five cons of freelancing. So far, kumusta yung yung advantage and disadvantage of freelancing? Okay pa? Gusto ko talaga siyang i-share sa inyo itong pros and cons para at least alam nyo talaga yung nangyayari in digital world or digital industry. Okay, so let's proceed with, so ito yung 3 freelance niche for beginners na madali siya kung gusto niyo mag-start into freelancing. First is yung virtual assistants. Siguro naririnig niyo na 'to, yung virtual assistants. So, yun yung mga, assistant virtual on the word itself, it's virtual assistant. So, parang personal secretary. So, all of the admin tasks na pinapagawa ng client, yun yung gagawin mo. So, mga busy kasi yung siyempre, most of the clients in overseas, they are solopreneurs. So, wala silang masyadong tao, kaya kailangan nila mag-outsource para gawin yung mga ganong bagay. So, yung mga simpleng research, pag-manage ng email, wala silang time mag-manage ng email, pag-sagot sa social media, pag-format ng mga vlogs. So, yung mga simple tasks, so yun yung mga kailangan nilang gawin na kailangan nilang i-outsource pagawa. So, ito siya, si virtual assistant siya. So, mabilis lang siya basta alam mo yung mga basic Google Doc, Google Sheets, presentations, yun usually yung pinapagawa with the virtual assistants. Meron din sometimes yung calendar ng client, pinapaayos sa'yo. So, that's the simple task to do. And then next is yung customer service. So, lahat ng mga businesses, of course, they need customer service. So, usually yung mga chat support, yun yung sumasagot, 'di ba? Sumasagot sa Messenger or sa email. So, they need assistance with that. So, that's customer service. So, mabilis lang siya kasi usually sa customer service, may mga script na siyang ginagawa. And then what you will do is just search or pick the right answer to the queries. So, yun lang. So, lahat yun, 'di ba? Parang for example sa atin, sa Globe, sa Smart. So, lahat siya may mga customer service. So, yun yung ginagawa din ng mga businesses. Lahat sila merong customer service din. And then, of course, yung social media management. So, lahat tayo mahilig mag-social media, mag-Facebook, mag-TikTok, mag-Instagram. Pero, yung mga solopreneurs natin or yung mga clients natin abroad or kahit dito sa local business, wala silang time to post for them. So, they outsource people to work for them just to post one post a day. So, lahat siya in-outsource siya. So, yun yung mabilis lang. Dahil mabilis lang siyang gawin kasi alam mo na yung gagawin dahil meron kang social media, 'di ba? Meron kang Facebook, may Instagram, alam mo kung paano ka mag-post. So, you can do it for anyone in exchange of your service. They will pay you. So, lahat siya, iyang tatlo, actually I tried that 3. So, naging virtual assistant ako, customer service, social media manager. So, na-try ko siya lahat and maganda siyang starting point sa freelancing. So, yan. Next is yung freelancers toolkit. Ito yung mga kailangan na tools for freelancer kung if you want to start. Of course, you'll need a reliable computer or laptop. Hindi siya syempre mahirap mag-work ng cellphone lang. So you need to have a laptop. High quality device na pwede mag-handle ng work. And ito yung nakuha ko mga important na mga specs in terms of having a laptop or computer. So, pero kung merong available naman kayong laptop, you can use that. Ito lang yung ideal para kasi syempre if you're working, mas maganda yung mas mabilis yung working mo sa laptop or sa computer. So you need to make sure of the operating system, the processor, the RAM, the storage, yung screen size and portability, and then battery life. So, yan yung mga kailangan mo i-consider when you need to buy your laptop. Pero kung may existing ka naman na laptop, you can make use of that. And then you can upgrade pag meron ka ng pambili ng pang magandang laptop. Kasi yung below 8 gig RAM or yung storage, hindi ka makakapag multi-tab ng task. So mahirap siya. Yung processing niya is very slow if you're doing multiple tabs. So yung ideal talaga is yung RAM is 8 gig pataas. And then yung storage is 502 gig. So SSD na siya, hindi na siya yung hard drive. Kagaya ng dati, 'di ba, HDD pa siya. Ngayon, SSD na siya, mas mabilis na siya, and then mas mabilis na yung processing niya. And then of course, you can consider the screen size. So it must be 13 inches up. Syempre the bigger the screen, the better. Kasi yung quality ng work mo, para hindi ka, syempre laging nasa laptop ang mata mo for the whole duration of your work. And then dapat 2 kilos, under 2 kilos, kasi if ever you'll be traveling anytime, you can bring your laptop. So I started with Asus, pinakamurang gaming laptop ng Asus. So okay naman siya. Maganda yung gaming na specs. Pero the more kasi syempre yung storage mo, yung RAM, mas nagmamahal yung laptop. Pero akin is I'm working with 8 gig. Okay naman siya. I'm using this for 3 years na. So, hindi pa naman ako nagmamak kasi medyo masyadong mahal, and yeah, okay naman yung work ko. Kaya naman, depende naman kasi sa work po na kukunin yung pagbili mo ng laptop. Kung ang ginagawa mo naman is more on mga office works lang naman, hindi ka naman nag-heavy graphics or pa-power or pa-premiere or nag-video editing. So, mas mababang specs, okay lang naman yon kasi hindi siya masyado maglalag. Pero kung heavy graphics ang gagawin mo, mas kailangan mo yung mas malaking specs. So, next is internet connection, of course. So, since we'll be working online, we need an internet connection. So, meron tayong PLDT, Converge, Globe, Smart, DCTV. Hindi ko alam kung meron pang ibang internet provider dito, but I tried Globe. Before, I started Globe with 150 gig data cap. Sobrang hina. And then for a month, kasi wala pa dito sa lugar namin, wala pang pumapasok na other internet provider. So wala akong choice sa Globe. Pero I started Globe for 2 years. 2 years ako nag-Globe. So sakto naman, nakaraos naman ako. And then I tried BTTI for 3 Mbps, pero wired, medyo okay siya kaysa sa Globe. And then, yes, pumasok yung Converge. And then, yes, I'm using Converge now. Pero so far, okay naman siya. I don't know with other users kung okay yung service ni Converge. But so far for me, it's working for me. So you need to take note of the internet connection, kasi ito yung pinaka-importante syempre in working on freelancing, especially we're working online. And then you need to have a backup internet. I'm using a backup internet with Gomo. Siguro alam niyo ba yung Gomo? So meron siyang Gomo SIM. So I bought the Gomo SIM for 399 with 30 gig unlimited. No, it's not unlimited, pero hindi siya nag-expire. So kung kailan mo lang siya gamitin, may connection ka. So hindi yung mag-load ka pa every month or basta meron ka pang available na gig or na data, you can use it. So hindi na ako nagdalawang internet provider kasi masyadong costly na. So 1/6 yung Converge. So okay na siya. Okay naman yung Gomo. Okay, next is you need to have invoicing and payment tool. So invoicing, so you need to get paid for your work. So kailangan mo siya ng invoice. Yung ginagawa natin as freelancer, kailangan mo mag-send ng invoice for your client to pay you. So I've used PayPal, Wave, Soho, and Wise for invoicing and payment. Si PayPal, ito yung pinaka-famous na ginagamit for overseas. Pero masyadong mataas yung fees kasi ni PayPal. Kaya nababawasan. Halimbawa, pinadalan ka ng $200, ni client, binayaran ka ng $200, meron siyang bawas na $4. So the more na mas marami syempre yung pinapadala sa iyo, mas marami din yung fees ni kasi may percentage si PayPal. So kung if ever itong Wise, maganda yung Wise kasi direct bank transfer. Siya yung pinaka mababang fees for transfer na ginagamit ng mga freelancers. So Wise, parang bibigay mo lang yung bank account mo to client and then ita-transfer niya through directly bank transfer. So yun yung payment tool na I've tried, PayPal and Wise. And then yung PayPal, meron din siyang invoicing. So if ever may recurring kang invoice, you can set up a recurring invoice to your client and then they can pay you every, for example, for 2 weeks recurring na invoice, nagpapadala. So hindi ka na magma-manual na send sa kanila ng invoice. So the same with Wave. So same lang sila ng Wave na recurring, pwede ka mag-recurring padala ng invoice. So and then si QuickBooks and Soho, so it's more of same lang din sila ng na invoicing and payment tool pero more on advanced na sila. Meron silang CRM na tool and mga paid na sila na tool. Next is you need to have a time tracking tools. What is time tracking tools? Ito yung usually ito ginagamit ng mga paid per hour. Halimbawa, you're being paid to work for halimbawa for $5 per hour. So you need to have a time tracking tools para ma-track mo kung ilan yung ipipay mo kay client or i-bill mo kay client with your time that you have worked. So I've tried Clockify. So free up siya na time tracking tool, and then si Time Doctor. Time Doctor, I think it's paid pero meron din siyang atang trial or free plan. And then si Toggle and then Harvest. So yan mga sample ng mga time tracking tools. And hindi mo lang siya magagamit din for time tracking for your work and for your productivity also. You can make use of time tracking para alam mo yung you need to work on this specific time. For example, for 25 minutes, I'll be working with this. I'll work for making an email for 10 minutes. So pwede mo siyang orasan yung sarili mo to work. So yun yung maganda sa time tracking kasi magiging productive ka in terms of your work, not only just to bill with your client with your work. Next is a communication tool. So you need to have, of course, to communicate with your client. So some example of the communication tool is Zoom. Ito yung ginagamit natin, Zoom. Ito yung widely used overseas. Google Meet, Skype, Slack for communication, and WhatsApp. So hindi sa kanila uso yung Messenger na gaya sa atin, hindi sa kanila masyadong sikat yung Messenger. So sikat sa kanila sa ibang bansa yung WhatsApp and Slack. So you're working with them, communicating yung text. So Slack and WhatsApp. And then Zoom for video conference, for meeting, Skype, and Google Meet. So usually yan yung mga ginagamit for communication tool. And then if ever you'll be starting to have a client search, you need to have this tool. Kasi kailangan mo siyang makipag-discovery call through Zoom or Skype or Google Meet. Kung kailangan makipag-meet sa kanila, you need to have these tools. Okay, next is scheduling platform. So yung scheduling platform is yung calendar. Parang you will send, alam niyo na ba yung Calendly or Acuity? So yun yung sample ng mga scheduling platform. If ever you'll be having a discovery call with your client, for example, so a client is interested in working with you, you can give him or her your scheduling platform or your Calendly or Acuity for them to book a time for you. Parang magbo-book siya. That's the scheduling platform, so Calendly and Acuity. So maraming mga scheduling platform din, but ito yung nagamit ko pa lang is Calendly and Acuity. But you can try other platform as well. Next is yung project management tools. So freelancers need to manage your project and deadlines effectively. So kailangan mo tong mga project management na tools na to. Actually, I don't know if you're using this on your work, pero maganda siya, very productive if you're using this one. Pero before, we have used in our office yung Trello. Na-try namin to sa government with our team sa social marketing unit. And it's productive to use. So Asana, Trello, Notion, Monday.com are the samples of project management tools. So pwede kang, ito yung mga collaborative tools na pwedeng gamitin with a team, with your client. For example, I'm using Asana for all of the projects that we're doing with the team. So I'm managing the Asana for my team. So lahat siya from podcast management, from social media management. So lahat ng mga pinopost namin sa social media, andun siya lahat sa Asana. And then pwedeng i-check siya ng client mo before i-post. You can, parang yung collaboration is mabilis siya, real time siya. Unlike yung kailangan mo pa siyang mag-send ka ng note na I need to post this one and then approve siya ng client. So ito yung mga project management tools, mas pinabilis na siya yung work. And then also for your planning for your different clients. So mga deadlines, you can use this. Next is you need to invest in a cloud storage. So I'm using Google Drive for all of my files, and you can also try Dropbox. Kasi in working and freelancing, hindi na siya kagaya ng traditional work na you will send a Microsoft Office document or Excel through an email. So usually ginagamit is mostly online. They're using Google Excel or Google Docs, Google Slides. So yung lahat ng mga nasa Google Google Workspace na mga tools. So yun yung masyadong ginagamit na. And then yung advantage naman yung cloud storage is kahit saan ka pumunta, andun yung files mo. Kahit naiwan mo yung laptop mo sa bahay and then you need to access something with your phone, so kaya mo siyang i-access through cloud storage kasi lahat na nandun. So ako wala talaga akong installed sa laptop ko na Microsoft Office. So wala akong PowerPoint, wala akong Office, Excel. Kasi may license, di ba? Walang license yung Microsoft Office ko. So I'm always working with all cloud na siya. Cloud na. So mas mabilis siya, hindi na siya makaka-store ng all of your files on your computer. So that's the toolkit na needs mo na to start in freelancing. So konti lang naman siya. Hindi mo naman kailangan mag-invest ng masyadong malaki. For Google Drive, I only pay $890 for a year. For 100 pa lang yung yung storage ko, sakto na. So the more na magdadagdag ka ng storage, syempre mas mamahal siya. Pero parang 2,000 lang yung 1 terabyte. for a cloud storage for Google Drive. So maganda na siyang option para if ever mag-crash man yung laptop mo, hindi ka mag-worry kasi wala naman na files yung laptop mo. Kasi syempre usually yung laptop ka sa katagalan na ginagamit, so mas masisira siya. So mas maganda talaga na sa storage sa cloud storage. Okay, so that's the freelancers toolkit for freelancers. So hopefully nakuha nyo yung mga kailangan. So yun yung mga nakita ko na kailangan lang talaga. And then the more na mag-start ka, makukuha mo naman yung yung mga ibang pang kailangan. You can just add yung ibang needs mo for softwares and tools. But for starting, yun yung pinaka basic na needs. So next is if you will be starting with freelancing, you need to know your reason why you'll be starting freelancing. Because of course, kung hindi mo kilala yung sarili mo, hindi mo din siya alam kung paano ibibigay sa iba, 'di ba? So, sabi nga nila, you cannot give what you don't have. So, it's very important that you know what you have so that you can serve your clients. So, ito yung Ikigai. So, this was also presented with my mentor for her course, the Ikigai. So, I love this concept. So, Japanese concept siya, meaning a reason for being. Actually, maganda siyang pagnilay-nilayan before you proceed with what you want to serve with your client. So, you need to reflect of what you can do and what you can offer. So we have this 4, as you can see on the slide, merong 4 circles. So the yellow part is the passion. The green part is the profession, this one. So the yellow part is passion, it said what you love, and then profession, what you are good at. And then for this green is your vocation and what can be paid for. And then this pink is your mission. So what the world needs. So that's the Ikigai concept of Japanese concept ng Ikigai. So maganda siyang pag-isipan for you. For example, yung pag hinalo mo yung mission and passion, ito yung magiging result. Delight and fullness but no wealth. So may mission ka and then may passion ka. So pero wala kang pera. And then pag minix mo naman yung passion mo and then yung profession, satisfied ka pero feeling of uselessness yung makukuha mo. And then if you mix the profession and the passion, you have the comfortable but feeling emptiness. And then the mission and the vocation, you have the excitement, complacency, and sense of uncertainty. So yun yung Ikigai. So if ever, mamaya, you can muni-muni of what your Ikigai is. So pwede mo siyang isulat. So ano yung gusto mo? Ano yung kailangan ng mundo? Ayan, ano yung pwedeng bayaran ka, what can you be paid for, and ano yung what you're good at. With that, if meron mo na siyang na-fill out mo na siya, malalaman mo dyan kung ano yung gusto mong gawin and ano yung pwede mong iserve sa client. So, paano mo siya hanapin? Of course, yung sinabi ko kanina, identify what you love and enjoy. So if ever, ano yung tinatrabaho mo ngayon, do you enjoy it working? And do you love it working? And then, if ever, what skills or interest you would like to enjoy learning? So meron kang nakita sa freelancing na gusto mong pag-aralan, ano yon? So look at your current skills, interest, and pick the one that think that you'd be good at. So yan lang, mabilis lang siya to choose your skill. isipin mo lang kung ano yung gusto mong gawin and then you enjoy it at the same time. And then ano pa yung ibang skills that you would like to enjoy learning. And then you can decide kung ano yung gusto mong skill na i-sell to your client. So for example, you love writing for your traditional job na ginagawa mo for 8 to 5, you can sell it as a product. So meron tayong content writing, copywriting. So yun yung mga pwede mong i-sell. So kung ano yung skills mo na meron ngayon, ita-translate mo lang siya into digital skills kung applicable siya. So lahat naman ng industries, lahat naman ng mga companies or categories ng mga industries, meron naman siyang papasok doon. So usually, lagi naman siyang papasok doon. So if you love cooking, so meron naman siyang mga industries for hotels, for restaurants na pwede mo siyang um, ibigay yung skill na ganon. For example, I actually had an experience working on a tech startup na meal planning siya, meal plan. So parang kung ano yung menu na gagawin mo for the day. So yun yung ginagawa kong posting for social media. So more on ano siya, more on healthy living. So a meal app siya. So yun. So merong ganong mga pwede mo siyang i-translate into digital skills. So yun, okay ka na sa skill mo. So identify what you love and what you enjoy and what other skills that you want to enjoy learning. So yun lang, mabilis lang siya. And then after that, you define your ideal client avatar. So ano ba ibig sabihin nito? Yung ideal client avatar is your ideal client. So mas maganda na you need to identify your client profile. Ano yung gusto mo or sino yung gusto mong maging katrabaho or maging client. So you need to identify their age, their gender, their location, occupation, income, marital status. And then aside sa demographics, you need to identify the psychographics. So yung beliefs niya, yung values niya, yung goals, yung attitude, yung habits, or yung interest. So kung meron kang halimbawa, for example, sino yung favorite actor mo? Gusto mo siya maging client, pwede mo siyang gawing ideal client avatar. So pwede mo siyang hanapin na client. So ganun yung ganun yung peg nung pag-identify ng client avatar. Kasi in terms of working in freelancing, maganda na mas gusto mong katrabaho syempre yung client mo. And then kung identified mo na yung client mo, syempre mas mabilis or mas magaan yung working relationship ninyo if you like your ideal client or your client. So this is my example of my ideal client that I've set for me. So example niya for demographics. So gusto ko 30 years old to 50 years old. Male or female. So location, US, UK, Australia. So bakit ko siya pinili? Kasi ito yung mga countries na syempre malaki yung naka-dollar siya. US dollar. UK is pounds. So mas magandang kunin yung syempre magandang countries na ahead sa atin. Kasi marami din naman na mga countries na nag-hire ng freelancers but they're in Middle East or syempre yung mga countries din. And then hindi ganon kataas yung rates na binibigay nila for a certain freelancer compared to these countries or yung location. So yung occupation is I like to work with personal development coaches because I've learned so much with life coaches. So yun yung gusto ko talagang katrabaho. Kasi the more na nag-work ako into life coaches, parang yung life ko din nababago. And then I've learned so much with working with coaches. So yun talaga yung tina-target ko. I'm working with a life coach or lifestyle coach for almost 3 years now. And then I've worked with spiritual coach, hypnotherapist. So yun yung mga client ko. May hindi ako nakuhang client avatar and then dun ako talaga umalis agad for a month. So yun nasabi ko kaninang tech startup because hindi ko siya sa ideal client. So na-burnout agad ako sa work and then umalis agad ako. So yun yung disadvantage kung hindi mo type yung client mo or yung client avatar na sinet mo and then you work for them. So yan. And then yung income is 6 to 7 figures per year. So syempre in dollars siya for their income. And then marital status, married or in a long-term committed relationship. So yun yung demographics na sinet ko for me for my client avatar. Okay. Next is yung psychographics. So psychographics naman, so yung beliefs, values, goals, attitude. So yan yung mga gusto kong makita on my client. So paano mo siya makikita yung demographics and psychographics? Syempre, i-stalk mo yung client na gusto mong makatrabaho before you'll be getting the work. So kung okay siya, you believe on their values, on their attitude, kasi makita mo naman siya agad when you saw their profile, malalaman mo kung oy gusto ko tong makatrabaho. So, yan yung mga sinet kong psychographics for a client para at least may guide ako kung magkukuha ako ng client agad or next na client. Okay, so yan yung dalawang psychographics and demographics to define your ideal client avatar. Next is yung crafting your core message. So yung audience. So what problem you're solving and then what promise results. So you identify your skill, you identify your ideal client avatar, and then of course you need to have your core message. Parang mission statement siya for a company. Syempre, you're a business, and then it will serve as your guide in helping your client. So you need to consider your audience, what the problem you're solving, and then your promised result. For example, this statement I made for myself. I help personal development coaches boost online visibility, engagement, and revenue through effective digital marketing strategies. So ito yung aking mission statement for my client. And then next is itong when I started helping aspiring freelancers, I made also a mission statement. So I help aspiring Filipino freelancers kickstart their freelancing journey with a comprehensive step-by-step process. So yun yung core message ko. Parang mas mabilis mo siyang, parang roadmap mo siya in hunting your client or in serving your audiences. So that's the core message. So I think I just wanna check our time. So it's 8:25. So we have mga 1 and 30 minutes na pala ako kasalita. And then so just have to finish the next slide and then we'll wrap with the question and answer portion. Question answer portion. Parang Miss Universe lang. So okay ba? Okay pa ba? So far, okay naman yung so we'll start with or we'll continue with establishing your brand online. So you need as a freelancer, you need to establish your brand online presence. So you need to have a professional website or portfolio. So hindi naman siya agad website. You need to have a portfolio. In freelancing, hindi hinihingi yung resume na kagaya natin na sa traditional natin na ginagawa na mag-send ka ng resume. So usually it's a portfolio. Ibig sabihin ng portfolio, your samples of your work para makita ng client kung kaya mo bang gawin yung pinapagawa nila. So if ever wala ka pang portfolio or yung mga samples of your work, you can try building your portfolio at the same time na yung parang kung meron kang parang resume type pa lang, you can do that or you can submit that if ever hiningi ni client. Pero as you go on, mas maganda na you have your portfolio. So it's a compilation of your work with your client or with other clients. You have testimonials. So kung nag-upgrade ka na, you can have your website to showcase your work. Next is you need to develop a strong social media presence. So social media is a powerful tool to promote your brand. One importance ng social media is mabilis siyang makita ni client. And then once kasi na halimbawa nag-apply ka or nag-search ka ng client and you had a discovery call, tinitingnan talaga nila yung mga social media for authenticity. Kaya mas maganda if you want to start right now, you need to be professional with your social media. So, hindi kagaya ng parang share ng kung ano-anong post. Kasi if ever you need your client to go to your social media, mas maganda yung feed mo. So, yung social media is yung reflection kung ano ka talaga as a person, nag-reflect yun sa social media mo. Kaya usually, alam natin na share lang tayo ng hindi natin alam kung ano share natin, pero it will reflect what we are as a person. So let's be professional in terms of our social media. Next is we need to network online. So meron mga different Facebook groups or industries or communities na pwede kang mag-join. So you can join different platforms to learn new skills and find new opportunities. So usually marami sa Facebook groups. So different Facebook groups, pwede ka mag-sign doon or mag-join, and then you can network with other freelancers kasi doon makita mo may marami siyang sa mga Facebook groups, doon siya nag-post usually ng mga vacancies also kung may kailangan nila, and then networking with other freelancers. So mas magandang practice kasi if ever you have referrals with other freelancers, mabilis siya makahanap ng client. And then next is you offer value through content creation. So if you good at writing, if you're good at videos, you can create valuable contents in terms of your work or if what you're going to work. So ano siya, it's part of the marketing of you as a freelancer. Alam ko medyo mahirap siya on our part. So hindi pa tayo confident masyado. Actually, I just started out building my profile right now because I need to be yung online presence ko din and then yung brand because I want to help freelancers. Kaya kung hindi ako mag-show as a coach and then I don't have the values or yung hindi ako nagbibigay ng content for them, so paano nila ako na-trust, 'di ba? So ganun siya. So you need to offer or provide value first before you can have trust with someone or with your client. So next is you need to leverage online marketplaces. So there are different reputable marketplaces for freelancing sites such as Upwork, Fiverr, onlinejobs.ph to find new clients. So but you can try those things for an online presence. Kasi ako nga, di ba, I started out na nag-sign up lang sa freelance site and then a client reached out to me without reaching out first to that client. So may mga client kasi nag-hunt din ng kanilang kagaya ng pag-hunt ng natin for a client, yung client is nag-hunt din sila ng gusto nila maging katrabaho or yung freelancer to work with them. So ganun lang siya. So malaking bagay siya na you can sign up with different freelancing sites. I've tried Upwork and onlinejobs.ph. So yun lang yung na-try ko. Yung Upwork kasi is they have connection or kailangan mo siya ng per month ata. Meron siyang parang may bayad siya. Yung downside lang ng on freelancing sites is sometimes they have a cut since middleman sila. May cut sila sa payment. So far, yung na-try ko lang talaga is yung walang cut is direct siya to client is onlinejobs.ph. Pero yun nga, marami din syempre competition doon kasi marami din na nakalagay doon na mga freelancers. So we just need to be competitive also. So yeah, that's all for, I think, for tonight. So we'll go ahead with Q&A questions if you have questions because I think it's 8:30 na, 8:33. So I promise to be it with 90 minutes. Baka syempre ano niyo ako na sobra na ako sa oras.